Alright, the Reds, it is the post-match pint from Metrocola in Liverpool City Centre. You got me, Gareth, Roberts, him, Mo Stewart, and him, Phil Blundell. We are reacting to Liverpool getting beat at Leicester City by 1-0. Liverpool missing a penalty, missing the follow-ups to the penalty. Sadio Mane having an absolute stinker. And those fox-hunting weirdos winning a game of football that not many people expected them to win. Mo, there's no dressing it up. I thought Liverpool was shite.
They were shite, and at the worst possible time. And it was one of those games where it seemed to get worse. Obviously, missing the penalty is a turning point. It gave them belief. It seemed to seep it out of us. But even at half-time, it's 0-0. You still think, keep doing what we're doing, and we should be able to get this game. But every chance that was missed, every ball that was a little bit behind or over here, and it just came to get worse and worse. It seemed to be one of them kind of games. Just kept getting in my mind more and more, and it seemed to get in their minds more and more as well.
Yeah, it did have a lot of feel of one of them, Phil, and I think, when we were talking during the game, when we were watching it, you're looking for signs of, well, that's the way through, that's where we're going to go, he's on form, this is where the goal's going to come from, you know what I mean? You get your little hints or tips as to where it might come from. There wasn't really any of that. I mean, we all looked at, Leicester's set-piece record, and we're like, well, we could get some joy there. Never really tested them on that score. It was hard to sort of single out players that were playing particularly well beyond Tsimikas and Mata. And yeah, it was pointing to frustration, from the first half onwards, really, wasn't it?
You can go through front to back and probably have a negative comment about pretty much anyone, but I think, in fairness, I think you're right, Tsimikas and Matip, I thought they were both quite good. I think Tsimikas looked really lively first half. He's come up with a great interception when Vardy was nearly through first half. It was just abject. It's one of those games where you look at it and go, we wouldn't have scored. I mean, I was really annoyed that the referee blew up on 94:53 or something. But we wouldn't have done any in the next 7 seconds. But it's the principle, isn't it? We weren't getting anything there. Sort of, the reaction is a bit, you feel really deflated, and it's almost like, well, title's gone now. I remember, you go back 20 years, there was a thing I remember Alex Ferguson said, you go into a season, you just don't want to lose more than 6 games. You lose 6 games, you've got a chance of winning the league. And you look at how football has changed. Now, we've lost 2. 2 from our first, 19, 18? Have we played 19 now? 2 from 19 is, broadly speaking, fine. But to be able with such despondency that, is this going to be too much to claw back? And I know exactly what you're going to say now, Mo, and I completely agree with you.
Thank you.
But the feeling of despondency.
What about the people who don't?
Sorry, no, I'll let Mo speak.
I love the fact I didn't even have to say anything. I'm not giving up this fucking title in December. That's what I was going to say. I'm sorry. I'm just not doing it. Yes, it looks like they're going to have a 9-point lead. Yes,
with the game's quite.
Got to be some reaction.
I'm giving them I'm giving them tomorrow's game.
Yeah, but we'll have a game in hand, is what I mean.
Oh no, yeah.
In that circumstance.
So we've got a game in hand, and we can beat them. We can beat them at the Etihad. So then that's 3 points. I mean, look how quickly Chelsea went from being 4 points ahead to 5 behind. It was 4 games. Look, come on, everybody. We know how this works. We've given them an advantage that we shouldn't have given them. And it's going to sting for now. But if you're giving up on this title already, then I'm sorry for you.
The other thing is, there's no point that this season is being played in such a weird environment.
Yeah.
They could have 2 league games in a week against half-decent teams, and it turns out they got 5 missing through COVID.
Exactly.
And they lose both of them. It could happen to us. It could happen to them. It could happen to Chelsea. There is no point getting in a tissy fit or whatever.
That's not to say you shouldn't be upset at that
absolutely.
Like, I'm not saying that.
Exactly. We're literally having a pint and it's only just finished.
Yeah. And Brendan Rodgers on the screen.
And in the immediacy, it's fucking hard to take because everything said Liverpool should have been going there tonight and winning well. They're missing loads of players. Like, we encouraged them. I mean, you saw as soon as the penalty was missed, the ground was up. They were up. They're immediately on the attack from the penalty. And as time wore on, it was like they're high-fiving each other and all. It's every time. Indeed, he's like suddenly, the best centre half you've ever seen in your life. Whatever. And it's like, but we encouraged that.
We
You
did.
know, our final ball was shit. We were ponderous. We were slow. You know, Bobby comes on and then we don't get it to Bobby early enough on every single move almost. You know
I mean, two things about the Leicester defence. I think to a certain extent, whether they meant it or whether it was subconscious, we thought it was going to be easier, so we were kind of slacked off a bit because they got makeshift defenders. We can just play our normal game and we should get through these. And then they make it makes the early mistake for the pen, which reinforces that idea, thinking, okay, we're going to have these on toast. But that's not how it works. You have to earn it. You have to go out there. And from the opposite perspective, those Leicester defenders are thinking, look, we've got our backs against the wall here. We've got to keep going. We've got away with one. We've got to keep going. And that belief grew and grew as ours wilted away. And I know that we're probably going to go into it later on in the show, but I'm yet to be convinced that having all four of our forwards on the pitch ever works. I'm not sure we've ever scored with all four of them.
I don't think it ever worked with Coutinho either.
No. And I get why you do it, because you want to have as many goal scorers in and around the pitch. But they were in each other's way too often. And it just, behind them, Milner and Keita had far too much to do. So anytime the ball came back towards them, they couldn't block it off. So
I mean, just nothing worked.
I thought
really.
the sub, he didn't help himself with the subs though, I don't think. Because,
Keita never worked.
But as soon as...
No,
I thought Chamberlain was playing well, so I didn't really necessarily agree with him coming off. I thought he was going to bring Fabinho off, to be honest. Move Henderson back and then have a bit more. And if he had done that, it would have been far easier to change the front about a bit more, because as soon as you put Milner on for Fabinho and he's put Keita on for Chamberlain, and then you want to put the attacker on, if you want all four of them up, you put Milner and Keita in the midfield, which it's just, I think there's possibly a James Milner conversation to be had now, because he's starting to look his age, and makes me really sad to say that, and I sound like I might be being harsh on him, and he's been a great professional, but there's a serious conversation we need to think about. Is he really the best man for the job at certain times? And I sort of understand in that one, but I'd rather see Curtis Jones. When Elliott's back, I'd rather see Elliott. I'd rather see Keita. I'd rather see Chamberlain. He's away down the pecking order, and when you're 1-0 down away from home, looking for a goal, he just doesn't. He's never been a sort of massively creative player. He's been about intensity. He's always been about, right, I'm getting the ball and I'm going to use it well, I'm going to be in your face, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. When you've got two banks of four behind the ball, and it was probably more like a bank of five and a bank of four, wasn't it, if we're being honest?
Hello Reds, thanks for watching that taster of the post-match pint. If you want to watch the rest of that video, really easy to watch it right here on YouTube. Just click the join button below. That activates the membership. It gives you access to the Anfield Wrap's premium videos, which includes the post-match pint, but also reviews, previews, exclusive interviews, and it means you can follow us, follow them from here, the heart of Liverpool.